universe. You just don't know it yet. Who the hell are you? Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Mad, and, well, them lines, that cutscene at the end of Iron Man 1 started it all. And if he knew what was coming after that, it was just been absolutely just amazing. But yes, we're here today to have a retrospective sort of look back and review and chat about what started it all pretty much, and Iron Man 1. And like I say, when it come out, nobody really expected much of it, sort of thing. It come out in 2008, made $585.8 million in the box office, and nobody really was expecting much, sort of thing. But the film to start it all off and to hit the ground just running, Iron Man 1, and what a better way to start it off as this character, sort of thing. Like the cast that you had: Robert Downy Jr. as Iron Man, fantastic. You had Terrence Howard as James Rhodey Rhodes. You had Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts. J.A.R.V.I.S was done by Paul Bettany. Clark Gregg as Phil Coulson. Happy Hogan was the director. Was played by the director John Favreau. It was just so good. Obviously, at the end, Nick Fury coming in, Samuel L. Jackson. What a way to start this film and that lot, and this franchise and the storytelling of it all. You look back at it now, and it might be controversial to say, sort of thing, but definitely was the best Iron Man of the lot, all day long. For the three Iron Man films, this one was the best. It just took so many different aspects. The character was played perfectly by Robert Downy Jr. His origins, when he's in the cave and he's like building the scraps and building the original Mark 1 suit, that was literally ripped out of a comic book series done 2 years prior called Iron Man Extremist. And if you know me on the channel, I am a massive advocate of Iron Man Extremist. It was a brilliant comic book series, and the origins from that, where he's in the suit and he's doing the flamethrower and everything like that, is literally ripped out of pages from that book. It's so fantastic. It's just, I did my college media studies on comic books pretty much, and specifically Iron Man 1, and compared it to how cinema was taking stuff from the comics and literally just ripping out the pages and doing it like scene for scene pretty much. I got a good mark on that as well. I was quite happy with that. And yeah, it was just so nice to see a different aspect. I know obviously you did have all the Fantastic Four films and the X-Men films and the Spider-Man films before this, and we will get on to them though. As we're having a retrospective, like, classic review on some of the older films and Marvel in general, we will be going back to them eventually. I did, especially the Fantastic Four. Everybody knows how much I love the Fantastic Four film. But looking back at this film and just where it all started off, some of the classic lines as well that they had from this film, like when Obadiah Stane's talking to like people that are trying to make it. He's like, Tony Stark built this from a bunch of scraps. So just the power in that voice, and just he's presenting that. It's just so good in that lot. And that's like the first Iron Man suit was the big boy one from Extremist, I always say. The little robots as well that are helping him, and you see the progression of him learning how to do suits and how to build them, and his reporters and stuff like that. All the cinematography, the special effects, everything just looks so good. The suit looks absolutely outstanding, looks perfect, sort of thing. How they presented when you first see him as well, the 10 rings in Marvel, and especially Iron Man, especially linked with the Mandarin as well, is very prominent and very like significant amongst fans and stuff like that. So when we first see them, it's like, oh, brilliant, this is like going to lead on to the Mandarin later on, and it does to a point, but again, we all know what happened in Iron Man 3, we won't go there, but it did leave you some big promise and go, oh, this is going to be really good now, like, and it worked out well. Again, obviously it didn't work out like that sort of thing. I do think Obadiah Stane as well as the Ironmonger, perfect villain for this, absolutely perfect, and building him up as this as Tony, as this prodigal son that's going to return and save the business and everything like that, really good. And him like the overseeing mentor, but actually wants to take it all for himself, really, really good in that lot. Having Terrence Howard as James Rhodes, it was a shame that I think it was like filming schedules like got overlapped and wasn't able to come back as Rhodey again. But him in this, I thought he really did well. I thought he was a good actor, and I played him really, really well. Now I would have liked to seen what his portrayal of Rhodey in the later films would have been like, especially as like when he walks past this suit and he's like, not just yet, and it's like, oh, if you only knew, that would be the closest thing you'd ever get to the Iron Man suit and becoming War Machine itself and that lot. Like Paul Bettany has said as well, it's like the easiest job he's ever had. Walked into a film like sound studio and everything, did a few lines for about an hour or two, and then was done and got a big paycheck, went on holiday. Perfect for him, absolutely perfect. As well, Phil Coulson, the role of Phil Coulson in this, I just adored Phil, and it's one of the very times that when I've watched Avengers again, I always get teared and well up at that scene where he dies. But you know, we're jumping films, but him coming up to him all the time and trying to get him to talk and go, look, I'm part of this group, we can help you, and this, that, and the other sort of thing. Really, really good in that lot. And like I say, that post credit scene, I am Iron Man, and like that ending scene as well. Always like supposed to be like in the comics, it was always his bodyguard. Nobody really knew it was Tony Stark until like a few years after his like origins and everything. And then for them to hint at that and go, well, what do you think? It's just gonna be his bodyguard? And then he also goes, no, I am Iron Man. Such a good line, and he is. Whenever you see, it's going to be very unusual, especially later in this year or maybe next year, or when we see him as Doctor Doom. It's going to be really unusual to see him as a completely different character. Like for me, he is Iron Man. He's always going to be my Iron Man. Like Chris Evans is going to be my Captain America, and Chris Hemsworth is going to be my Thor. But and I've not really seen them portray a different character. It's going to be so weird. But again, it's Robert Downy Jr. He's going to smash it anyway, sort of thing. But yeah, that line, them links to the comics and everything a lot, just really well done. So yeah, just a really classic look at the back of the Iron Man film. If anybody really wanted to go back and watch them all, I would highly recommend going to do it, because they're so good. They're so good in that line. And just seeing where it's come from to today is so nice, because I never realised until way later on we never actually got the Marvel opening scene and you see the letters coming out and everything like that sort of thing until later on. Like these first few films, that was not the entrance at all. It was all Paramount Pictures and stuff like that, which was really a blast from the past, because I never realised it was. I thought it started off straight away there and then, but obviously it didn't. So yeah, definitely well worth going back, and come and join me on this adventure of looking back at all the MCU films as well as all the Marvel films as well. So yeah, we'll see you all on another episode of Marvel Mad, and join us for another episode on the retro reviews. Thank you very much, and see you soon.